Hey folks, welcome to my live stream.
Step through the teleporter or
We are going to do a quick look at Central City. This is this character's first time here. And first thing I'm going to do is just show you around the map. It's a fairly small map, actually. This does not represent the invisible wall that's actually here. You'll see where it's at as we explore. But there's just a few main areas here. You're going to need to talk to a few people when you arrive here. There's a scientist here.
Ah, yes, another specimen. Oh, you're not one of the infected.
Paradox Reapers in this area
I
can
think
provide
we can come to a mutually beneficial
energy
agreement.
to use in their experiments.
These Paradox Reapers
Might help them discover a way to harness the energy from the ruptures and
way
eliminate
into our
them.
reality through those ruptures. This is the perfect opportunity to collect data about the speed force
Next
so
we
that
have
we can steal,
try and
acquire
run
researcher.
its secrets. Go destroy some of these creatures
Paradox
and bring me back any
infiltrators
energy
store large
samples you
amounts of
find.
speed force energy. Slowing down and capturing them would allow LexCorp to harvest pure speed force from the creatures. Now, of course, this is going to change a little bit depending on whether you're playing a villain or a hero.
About time. Wait, you aren't my backup? You certainly look capable.
Massive
Look, I'm in
ruptures and
charge of
speed force
security,
periodically
just
open up in
spread
the
too
area,
thin.
seal the
Some
ruptures, and
massive
collect
ruptures
the
with
remaining
extremely
inertial
powerful
energy
Paradox
for
Reapers
use
are
in
opening near
LexCorp
the
experiments.
museum. I don't have the manpower to keep them contained, let alone collect the data as Mr. Luther ordered. Gather some allies and seal off that rupture.
You talk a lot. Almost as much as I do. And then Professor Zoom.
I can vibrate your molecules to exploit the excess speed force energy. This will help you run down those foolish citizens. Just run alongside them and they'll begin to slow down. For good.
People of Central City have been infected with inertial energy from the ruptures in the speed force. Professor Zoom will not allow them to drain the power that should be rightfully his. And this one's a fairly easy one. It does require several trips back and forth. So we're going to start with that. You just approach this park area with a huge golden statue and look for folks running around with a little trail behind them like you have if you have speed force. Otherwise, just look for the folks that are running around looking kind of strange, like they got super force, super speed, like that one there. Follow them. Stop near them if you can. Just get close enough to them and stay close to them. Like this one here, I'll show you. He's got that. If they stop, all the better. If they don't, you just have to be very...
I'm slowing down!
There we go.
Are you doing that?
And that's the first one. So then we return to Professor Zoom. I'm going to avoid going through the red zone just to try not get any aggro on me. But if you choose to, you can just cut right through. And each time you do that to a citizen, you're going to need to run back to Professor Zoom. Give him that force. And then he refills you with another set of speed. Run back out and look for somebody else stuck with the speed. That one is running, but they don't have the gold. So look for the ones that have the little gold trail. Those are the ones that have the speed force. You need to suck from them. Like I said, the ones that are running and stopping occasionally are going to be your easiest ones to catch. There you go. You just need to time yourself where you get near them, stay close to them long enough for it to sap that energy, then you return to Zoom. This is the second one, so as you see, it's a pretty easy one. There's only 4 to do. take. Oh, maybe it didn't take that time. Okay, I'll run back out. Okay, saw one. Now, it helps if you have your graphics turned up so you can see them from a distance, but if your computer isn't that good, then that's fine. Still do this. Like I said, Central City is a fairly small area, so it'll be easier on your system. That was one. You hear the little zap. There you go.
What did you do to me?
Of course, you hear the little glowy. That's why I always have my audio in the game up loud enough so I can hear the hidden briefings.
Something wicked this way comes, and it comes from the future. Our next villain on the tour is Professor Zoom, evil's answer to our hero, the Flash. Obsessed with causing the Scarlet Speedster trouble, he will race through time itself.
Get moving. Step on the telepad. We don't have all day.
Saw one running through here, but they didn't have the lightning behind them, so ignore them. They're not going to give you what you need for this quest. There's one.
I'm slowing down.
Just appeared.
Slow down. Are you doing that?
There we go.
What have you done to me?
I haven't done anything to you. Actually, just took a speed force from you. You should be grateful. But they're not. Okay, next. Let's choose the last one. And then the next quest I like to do in order will be right in this same area, because we're attacking some of these guys and closing those portals. Hear that little... There we go. And we just open up our journal with a J on the keyboard and collect. There's your 2 source marks. Easy peasy. Oh, there's the Flash. Not going to take him on. I just recently hit level 30, and my gear is not up to snuff yet. Now, one of your quests for this area is to take out these Reapers. And then you have to take out these little gateways. I'm afraid I didn't set up my... my abilities well here. There we go. Bingo, bingo. Easy peasy. And these guys just spawn pretty quickly, so I don't worry too much about having to hunt them down, like in the next area. The reason I choose this instead of the area it's highlighting for you on the map is that this is a little bit closer, and these Reapers are here. They count for harnessing their energy. need 10 of these guys. You just need to get back to hostage. Allocating the quest. You want some attention. For you. There you go. Thank you for playing. Run back to the select core scientist over here.
Ah, yes. Just as I
And then
surmised.
she's going to want you to
These
seal those
creatures
ruptures.
contain vast amounts of...
You think you can escape me?
If you're lucky, you get a couple of them close enough. You don't get interrupted while you try and close them. There we go. Smoke in the air. Walk up and do it. Easy peasy, because they disappear as soon as you hit that. As soon as you close the rupture. So it's a fairly easy one, depending on your skill set. Like with some skill sets have an ability that makes them fall on the ground. They slip and fall, like with ice. Just use whatever ability you have that holds them, suspends them, and once you close that rupture, they disappear. So you don't even need to fight to complete this quest. Very quick, very easy. As you can see, I've hardly had to do any fighting whatsoever. Once you get your rhythm down, because this is my first time here, I know there's also a briefing up here by the statue. So we'll grab that.
Designation the Flash. This target is you. Using a distraction will decrease target's combat reaction time by 18%. Planned hazards such as explosive counter-ups and you cannot close all 7%.
Next, that little area that was back here near the corner, you saw another park. Because there's actually a Flash museum right here in the center, and you'll find the Flash meandering around this building a lot. So if you have a quest to take him out, which there is one for this area, I'll show you that in a moment, then this is where you're going to find him. So the next quest is going to be, there's a little park area to either side. Here's the Flash Museum here. And there's a park over here and a park over here. Both of them, well, parking lot. The park is actually the one we were just in. Excuse me. In this parking lot, you're going to be looking for these paradox paper infiltrators. And once you do enough damage to them, you can then capture them in these balls and take them to the location on your map, which is going to be in the same place for everybody.
You may have captured me, but we will destroy this timeline.
After a while, you get tired of this commentary from these guys, and you might find me talking back to them. They can't hear you, they can't respond. And this can get a little tiresome since you have to capture 10 of these guys, so if you do get bored with this, you can always carry on with the next quest,
Where do you think
which is right in the same general vicinity, right where you see those orange glowies. Another thing I'll show you on the other side of the Flash Museum is a parking lot just like we were just in, where you'll find more of those infiltrators you need to take out. And depending on whether or not there's a lot of people on your server, you might find yourself competing for resources. And if that's the case, it helps to know that there's another location on each side.
You may have captured me.
So that's why I show it.
When I am free,
It's always nice to know. And if you can get them closer to this little spot, that's all the better.
where do you think you are
You can get
taking
a couple of them to chase you closer. That just makes it go by a lot faster.
You may have captured me.
Sometimes I'll
We'll destroy this timeline.
throw one of my ranged weapons at them just to aggro them, drag them closer. Yeah, I've got two right here.
Where do you think you are taking me?
And just grab one, leave the other one, because it's got a separate timer from when you first kill them,
All will be consumed by the paradox.
where once you turn them, once you encapsulated them, the timer refreshes. So don't go and encapsulate them both and then try and come back from for the second one. You'll never get there in time. Run up, grab one, run back. Very easy. And like I said, I just hit level 30. So my CR isn't even that high.
We'll destroy this timeline.
I open up my character sheet and you can see my CR, only because I have only bought a couple of pieces of gear when I leveled up just now, because I have been grinding in the featured area. In this case it was Dakota City. So if you like to know how that was done, you can look at my guide on fast leveling up and speed leveling. You can see that my item level are all right there, except for a few that I've just recently bought. They're all right there in the 20s and 30s range, except for a couple of items, like I said, that I bought that are level 55. And the way this works is once I replace that face, and probably the rings, which are my lowest level items, possibly the legs also, then I'll hit tier 2 and the necklace. So if I have a choice of items, of loot at the end of a quest, then that's going to be my first choice, obviously, because I know what I need to upgrade to get the next CR level. And it's all free, you don't have to pay anything to do that. As a matter of fact, you can't buy anything in the store that's going to increase your CR. Hence the free to play.
When I am free,
So I
you
just
will
got
pay
this
with your life.
second to last dude. Oh wait, there's the last one then. Reaping the Reapers, and complete. And then the last one is in this back half of the map. You're gonna find these guys are gonna be on this street, this back street underneath the freeway. You can't tell if there's a street underneath there. And then this side street. As you go and explore, you'll find some of them, depending on your build, will be easier than others. And all you really need to do is take out the guys, depending on, like in this case, you gotta help the trooper, and then watch over this portal while the timer goes down. So these reapers go really easy to it. There might be another wave or two. So this is the longest one, so I always wait until the very end. I wait to do this one in the as last, just because it takes the longest. Sometimes I don't have that long to play. But if I do, then this is going to be easy. This source marks as well. Depending on how much game time you have during the day, these are going to be areas you can do every day. And there are some of these quests that are going to be weeklies instead of dailies. And you'll see which ones those are depending on the area. And of course, weeklies will give you slightly better gear, more source marks. And that's how you're going to gear up, essentially, as a free-to-play player, which this game is. That's going to be your way. Upgrade all of your gear, get stronger to get some end-game content. Some people play specifically just to get to the end-game content, but I like the game content all around, so to me it's the journey. There we go. Now it wants me to seal the rupture and collect the inertial energy for LexCorp research. This is as far as the quests I have for this area. We'll need to go back to where Reverse Flash is. Because these maps here, these you are here points, if you go to these, you'll see disturbance in the Speed Force. Ruptures in the Speed Force are opening up north of the Flash Museum. Close down as many of them as you can to stop them from ripping our world apart. That's the one I was just doing, but I had not gotten the quest yet. Just in case you were wondering, what is he doing? Oh, that's it. This one is a bounty. The cult of Trigon and LexCorp are seeking the immediate removal of several heroes that are interfering with criminal activity. Considered a serious threat, do not approach alone. So this is a contract little starter here. You can take down all these guys: the Flash, Black Lightning, Static, Starfire, Nightwing, Kid Flash, Donna Troy, Raven, and Cyborg are all a part of that quest. Like I said, the Flash usually hangs around that area, and then once you have, interest, you can always go to this vendor and buy items. Of course, these are all going to cost you source marks. I don't recommend using source marks for gear at all, and I'll tell you why. Because there are vendors that you can get your gear without having to spend source marks. And if you want to know about that, look at my gearing up videos on my same channel. So since I have finished up those quests, I've gotten a couple of items here, a little item I can add to my collection. We're going to go ahead and right click that, add it in. So basically, these daily quests are not going to give you any gear boxes like you would in the featured episode, but that is going to be your first look at Central City. We showed you the main park here in the front, and then these parking lots on the side where you capture these guys and return them to the points that are going to appear next to the ships here. I usually avoid the front and back of the Flash Museum just because I don't want to run into Black Lightning with Flash at lower levels. Go help this trooper. Then we just wait for the timer. Gonna do his thing. Timer starts. And that's gonna be it. I mean, if you're curious, you can stick around. complete this quest, but this is going to be it. When you get to higher level, then there is a mini boss that is up on that highway. I will have a different video for because this character is not high enough level to solo. Like I said, bring friends. Always bring friends before you go after that one. There we go. This one's almost halfway done. And you'll need to do this several times. So like I said, I wait to do this. Just depending on how much game time I have available for the day. But I highly recommend doing all of these every day for maximum source marks. If you're in need of source marks so you can up your gear, like I said, I don't recommend using source marks to up your gear, but there are some cases where you may need to just to bump yourself to the next tier or to get your artifacts that you need to build. If you want to buy artifacts, I have a video on that as well. Don't like that high-pitched whining that you find in the mental. Not one of my favorites for builds, but hey, you play with some fun things. I made this character mainly so I can grind out some source marks in different areas. Have it. That's one of the Speed Force ruptures. And you have to do 6 of those. And the area you need to go to... There we go. I'll show you. The glowies here. Grab the glowy. Run up the side of the mountain. As you see the freeway here behind the Flash Museum. If I go back farther, I'm not sure how much farther the map goes. I think this block is it. Yeah. Right here at the half block. So if you see where I'm at, the back wall of the map is going to be right here. And this side of the map is going to be here. So we're basically in the... It doesn't seem right. Yeah, I've gone the wrong way. We're basically on the back side of the map. If I go all the way to the other side, you'll see more of those ruptures we need to close. You just need to close 6 of those. It just takes a little bit of time. So it is time consuming. And so here we are in the back corner of the map, essentially. Can't go any farther back. Can't go any more to the side. And so this is where we're at. That's the northwest corner. This would be about the southwest corner. And this is going to be the very, very small area that's going to be Central City. It's a very small area. It takes very little time to complete all of these dailies. And the weeklies that reset. Ooh, I'm halfway through the building. Yipes. Small little village there. Yeah, that's going to be it. For these other areas where there is no officer here, they have these little glowy bits that they're trying to run off with, so you need to stop them. And I usually wait until they're close enough so I don't have to run too far for these bits. You grab them and you run the bits back. And that's going to be basically it for these. Fairly easy. Be a big get them while they're running away, the bits fly too far, and then you have to go and fight them for it, and try and bring it back. They can knock it out of your hand. Yeah, it just kind of gets a little... Where are you going with that? So, lifted him up in the air while he had it, and he was far away, so it rolled to the other side of the street. Which is, fine. I mean, wait till he comes back. And lift him up in the air, and he'll drop it right there at your feet. So a little bit of strategy-wise, and you can totally enjoy yourself. That rupture is so much easier to deal with than the ones where you have to wait on the timer. That's why those are my favorites. So you just have to get out of here. This one is on a timer, so you'll need to wait. I don't really have a preference, just as long as it's done. If I have enough time.
The power of the paradox surges in me.
I killed him close enough to the barrier to where it was absorbed automatically, which is convenient. Occasionally you'll need to pick it up though.
I will release these vibrations on this world.
I would highly recommend looking up videos on the build, the layout, tell you how to set up your damage and what abilities do the most damage. Whether you're going to be a controller or damage. There are some really good videos out there on how to be a DPS. You need to know. Be a controller. And that's the third one. I'm halfway done with that. Very easy. Gonna be it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call this quits, and I'll finish up these quests on my own. But I was going to show you the freeway. Over here, you're gonna see these Speed Force conduits. Destroy these conduits and reapers. You could probably single-handedly handle the Reapers and prepare the area for somebody to join you. The conduits as well are very easy to take down. But you have 3 of them, mind you. And as you're doing that, more of these Paradox Reapers will continue to spawn. I wouldn't even try to single-handedly do all of these on my main, just because they do keep respawning. You're just not going to have enough energy to do this. And if somebody comes along while you're doing this and decides to help you, then great. You just destroy those conduits, and then you have a big guy you gotta take out, and at that point, he's just too strong. If you can do enough damage, like I said, you can take down the conduits without any help. seal the rupture.
Guardians are significantly more difficult. And they took out my robot pal. Show you what to expect. One last relay. We'll give it a try. The last one was pretty close. Those things are gonna really suck the life out of you if you let them. Paradox Super Prime. And he don't mess around. Putting a world of hurt on me. Yeah, he goes 73. He just got stomped. Yeah. So as you see, this is the guy you gotta take out to close that rupture. And there you have it, folks. That is Central City. First look. Now again, depending on if you're a hero or a villain, if you are a hero, you will be spawning on the other side of this part that's in the middle. As a villain, I'm going to appear over here at this rally point. Make sure to repair your gear before you go back in. We're going to call it. Thanks for joining. And repair bill. Repair bill is not really that much of a big issue. I've never really had a big problem with it. But that's probably because of my play style. If you'd like to know how I do it, then check out some of my other videos. I do have a playlist specifically for DC Universe Online Beginners List, and then I have several videos of playthroughs of some of my main characters. Thanks for joining. Keep being awesome.